Also tonight, we are hours away from a key moment in the Oxford shooting case.
Tomorrow morning, Ethan Crumbley, who pleaded guilty to the shooting, will appear in court for what is known as a Miller hearing, and that will decide whether he gets a life sentence without parole. Jacqueline Francis spoke with a legal expert for some insight on what we can expect.
Admitted Oxford High School shooter Ethan Crumbley will be in court Thursday morning as a judge decides his fate. The shooter was 15 years old at the time and has since pled guilty to killing 4 classmates and injuring 5 more, plus a teacher. Legal expert Neil Rockind says the judge will decide whether it's appropriate for the juvenile to be sentenced to life behind bars without the possibility of parole.
The shooter's defense team wants to make this case simply about whether or not how he's doing in jail, how young he is, whether he has psychological issues, how poorly his parents raised him. They don't want to get into the facts of the case. They don't want a parade of witnesses taking the stand and talking about how awful this experience was, how badly he acted before, during, and right after.
The Supreme Court has ruled juveniles should only receive a life sentence in the most extreme cases.
The Miller hearing, that's what this hearing is called, is to determine whether or not the judge sees this as a case of just overwhelming immaturity, where someone acted due to impulse, who was immature, who'd been raised poorly, who didn't have the psychological and emotional barriers and boundaries that parenting and childhood gives us, or whether or not this person is just in their heart evil and cannot be potentially rehabilitated or salvaged.
That was our Jacqueline Francis reporting. Because there was no trial in this case, as the defendant pleaded guilty, tomorrow's hearing will be the first time a lot of the evidence will actually be made public. A hearing expected to last at least a few days. The judge not expected to rule right away. We will, of course, be following it throughout.